Teen Ambassadors Across Europe is een fantastisch interessant project waarbij tieners over heel Europa eigenlijk geëngageerd worden om dichter bij de podiumkunsten te komen staan. En hoe doen wij dat? Wij hebben de krachten gebundeld via een Creative Europe project met 6 partners. En dat is Segni d'Infanzia in Italië, de hoofdpartner. Theatercentrum in Denemarken, Scène Kunstbruk in Noorwegen, Dialogue in Engeland en La Caixa Foundation in Spanje en natuurlijk Cultuurcentrum Hasselt, waarvoor ik spreek dan in dit geval, in België. En wat doen wij? In ieder land komen tieners samen. En die vormen een groep en die gaan naar voorstellingen kijken. Die spreken met makers, die spreken met acteurs, met dansers, met journalisten, met technici. In ieder geval, ze worden helemaal ondergedompeld in de wereld van de performance arts en het theater. En zij gaan ook in dialoog met professionelen, dus ook met professionele programmatoren en curatoren. En met leerkrachten, want zij zijn ook heel belangrijk in dit verhaal. De leerkrachten in Spanje, dus in Spanje komen er geen tieners samen, maar wel leerkrachten, die vormen een sleutelrol. De tieners zelf worden dus een soort ambassadeurs ten opzichte van hun leeftijdsgenoten en zij gaan het woord verspreiden. Het Teen-project loopt over 2 jaar. We zitten nu in het 2e jaar, dus het loopt bijna op zijn einde. En na heel dit traject zullen wij ook veel gereisd hebben naar verschillende festivals binnen Europa. En hopelijk kunnen we het woord daarna ook buiten Europa verspreiden. In ieder geval, we willen zoveel mogelijk mensen laten kennismaken met de methodiek die wij ontworpen hebben en die ook blijkt te werken. En natuurlijk hopen wij zo om zoveel mogelijk tieners geëngageerd te krijgen om enthousiast over de podiumkunsten te spreken en zelf te programmeren.
The Teen Ambassadors Across Europe project developed activities over 24 months. A core part of this project was the recurrent meetings between the teenage ambassadors at the Selection of Theatre for Young Adults European festivals and at 4 festivals organized by the project partners. The project partners' festivals were Segni New Generations Festival in Italy, April Festival in Denmark, Crocus Festival in Belgium, and Showbox Festival in Norway. The process also involved Dialogue Community Performance, UK, to take care of the project's documentation and digital involvement methodology, and La Caixa Foundation, Spain, in charge of testing the teacher ambassadors, experimenting new models of relationship with the school system. The main goal of these meetings was to observe and explore the potential of the teenage ambassadors through the teen methodology and tools, the Teen Kitchen Table format, the co-programming workshop, and the Active Theatre workshop. These techniques always aim to create and foster teenage engagement in every context they took place. Indeed, these methods were used across Europe in various different cultural contexts, and they provided the project partners with valuable opportunities to observe and reflect upon the sessions. Through these methods, the project partners discovered a connection between teenagers' engagement and their need to be listened.
After 2 years of research, we now understand the vital importance of the empowerment of teenagers, and especially of the teenage ambassadors. The teenage ambassadors were heavily involved in the research process. They were keen to create positive change and to encourage the empowerment of the creative professionals and artists and teachers in increasing teenage theatre attendance. This empowerment can start a chain of engagement. Teachers working alongside teenage ambassadors are able to imagine new and more suitable strategies to increase teenage theatre attendance. As a consequence of these, they share these more appropriate ideas to engage teenagers with creative professionals and artists. Due to the new approach, new possibilities can be explored. This gives teachers and teenagers a sense of empowerment and ownership as these new ideas come directly from their involvement and the elevating of their voices and ideas. The power and influence of the teenage ambassadors saw us shift the focus. We found that the relationship between creative professionals, artists, and teachers is often very complex. By empowering teenagers on this topic, they can act as representative of their own ideas and those of their peers and also of the teachers. This process was very interesting as it saw two changes in our approach. Through this research, we have learned that to support teenagers' engagement, we have to rely on power of change in the way teenagers view adults, whatever they are, teachers, creative professionals or artists. Therefore, our key findings are the importance and empowerment of the teenagers' voices and the creation of situations to make possible that empowerment. This method allows a bottom-up process which sees adults, those in direction-making roles within the industry, and the experience of setting up cultural activities to create suitable and appropriate engagement opportunities for teenagers to increase their engagement in the theatre.
The Teen Project explored and developed various tools throughout the process. These have been compiled and made available on the Teen Project website. The most valuable 5 methods and tools developed were: teen action groups were created to engage teenagers in theatre, to support them in accessing opportunities and to participate in the methodology developed through this project. The TAG tutor started contacting new teenagers, which worked very well. The TAG has now created their own company named The Stalkers, along with their own Facebook page, logo, charter, and they also have access to an office in the Cultural Center. They are super motivated and determined to bring arts and culture to their peers. Depending on the pandemic restrictions, the TAG will program their first show in spring 2021 and plan to continue throughout the year to organize a festival in 2022. Now that the Teen Project has finished at the administrative level, the teen TAGs are still active and proposing meetings online in all partner countries. The Teen Kitchen Table format, which was developed during the first stage of the Teen Project from 2016 to 2018, and it is now used in different contexts and situations to disseminate the Teen Ambassadors Across Europe methodology. The Teen Kitchen Table format sees teenagers, creative professionals and artists, and teachers come together around a food-laden kitchen table to debate and exchange on a specific topic. By following rules established by the teenage ambassadors, creative professionals and artists and teachers can listen and reflect on what the teenagers discuss. For example, the rules state that the moderator should be a teenager, teenagers are the experts and adults the students, and the discussion should focus on teenagers' views. The co-programming workshop, a work-in-progress methodology, was developed and implemented during the 2 years of the process. The workshop aims to establish consensus between teenagers, creative professionals and artists, and teachers in order to co-program performances and festivals for teenage audiences. The workshop starts with a warm-up and then moves on to develop agreed-specific criteria which can be used to evaluate performances. These criteria are then used to evaluate the different performances workshop attendees have seen. They are asked to watch the 3 same performances prior to the workshop and end with a poll where participants choose the favorite performance to be programmed. Of course, the more valuable part of the workshop is the exchange between the 3 groups, a space for listening to each other's point of view. Thirdly, the Act the Theatre workshop was developed. This workshop is based on different themes such as reviewing theatre, using social media, working on creative processes, recreating ideas in another media format, and so on. To act the theatre is to isolate a specific piece, element of the performance that stood out to you. For example, something you thought was fantastic, special, weird, or annoying, and to comment on it by using words, video, a podcast, drawing, body language, and so on, in order to reshape and remodel it into different media formats. Food for Thought was developed as a non-structured discussion focused on reviewing theatre and encouraging informal discussion on shows presented during festivals. The discussion is led by teenagers who are supported by a theatre critic to help deepen the conversation. It is an occasion for empowerment, for teenagers to listen to critics' voices, for creative professionals and artists to listen to the voice of their young audience. As the aperitif setting, Food for Thought aims to raise the pleasure of listening and being listened in the theatre environment, while enjoying an aperitif with typical products and a drink.
Hello, my name's Hugh, I'm 16 and I'm from Wales.
Due to the impact of the pandemic, Teen Ambassadors across Europe continued its research online and further explored the digitization of the process to foster and reinforce the European teenage community. Teenagers, creative professionals and artists and teachers interacted through video call workshops and watched online performances which were shared with them from the whole world. This digitization of the teen project, forced by COVID-19, provided some benefits. For example, it allowed people from different countries to come together despite being millions of miles apart. In Spain, La Caixa Foundation's Teachers TAG was reinforced by some critic webinar. The participation in online festivals enabled the project to reach a wider cultural diversity and allowed project partners and teenagers to create new relationships and engage in conversations with participants outside of Europe too, including China, the US, Canada, and Japan.
Welcome everybody. We are now on air. We are streaming on our platform Segni in Onda. Thank you everybody for being today with us.
Due to the pandemic, Segni New Generations Festival 2020 Italy moved online, and the final meeting of the team project took place online. This saw the online sharing of theatre shows, and the teen kitchen table format and co-programming workshop were realized in a brand new digital version. Listen to the reflections that came out from the event.
From 10 to 20, it's not a mystery what we feel. And I mean, we want to be exposed to things. So we want adult actors, professionals that know how to deliver a good story, that deliver it honestly, and that do that pre-production work where they kind of go back into the spirit of it without it becoming cliche in a way. I guess that's for me. So it's not for me as much as missing teenagers on stage, more maybe missing honest adults on stage sometimes. Yeah.
And welcome to this workshop, which is a co-programming workshop. And this is part of a project called the Teen Ambassadors Across Europe project, which is a project run by the project leader is Segni di Infanzia, which of course are hosting us for this wonderful festival, which we're very sad not to be attending physically ourselves, but still very grateful that we are all able to join virtually. The co-programming workshop is an experimental methodology that the project partners have been developing together for the last couple of years. Refresh. Which country are you from? Italy, UK, Belgium, Russia, Denmark, Belgium again, Belgium, Russia, Canada, Spain. Real mix of people coming from the project countries and also from further afield. So thank you very much. Okay, we're going to start up with a little warm-up. So, are we ready? The first task is to find 3 things that are red. 3 things that are red in colour. Yes, well done. Okay, now you should be able to see these slides here, which are some of the criteria that professionals and academic researchers have come up with, that they have described. And these are some of the criteria that they say. So some of the intention criteria are commitment or engagement, communication, ambition, originality, and dreams. Or maybe if it's an ability, you're thinking about the abilities of the cast or the crew, the skills, the craftsmanship, artistic capability, professionalism, the personal touch that they gave to a show, an element of magic when they put the show together. Or maybe it's necessity that's important to you, actuality, interaction with society, the dialogue that they have with the audience, if they are very courageous or take a lot of risks. Or maybe sometimes it's just like, wow, it's so eye-opening that you're like, just at the back of your seat, oh, this is incredible. And you can't even describe what it means to you. It's just eye-opening.
One last thing learned from the team project is that live theatre cannot be replaced. But digital activities can be used to facilitate the engagement of the other big target of teen ambassadors across Europe, the teachers. The last word goes to them to hear their point of view on the project experience.
I was using a kitchen table to talk about just this, about what do you want to see in theater, or what do you think you don't want to see when you are going to theater, or when you decide to go to theater. So it was very rich to see where they were choosing different items to talk about, and they were very, very free in their dialogue. So it was very fresh, very easy for them, and they talk about a lot of things, sex, about different kind of, for example, comedy or drama or musical, or what they want to see. So it was very rich and very, very easy to do it, and with a lot of conclusions.
For me, the most important thing is if you want to program performance shows or something like this to teenagers, you have to listen to them, to take account her point of view of the world, of the society, or something like this. And it's important that they can choose, they can participate in the design of the program of the theater. I think the most important thing with other teachers is to share with them that in theater, on the stage, the most important thing is not the word, but the body. So here you can open another way of understanding theater. And maybe another way to engage them is working with them from different files. For example, philosophy or biology, or different files to work all together.
Well, I learned a lot, and it was a very interesting project, because first of all, the worry about theater to arrive to people that is not adults, are not young people, children. And for me, this is important because I work with teenagers. This is my job. Teach to teenagers and young adults. And this project, I think, has all the things that I really think that are needed. An European view, approaching theater to students, and also how to do it. Not everything it's going to be okay, if not with quality, no, with something that it's could be possible to do it, and also with a good quality. And I think this is all of these items is what I think it was very good project.
I don't know if you understand the question. Is the relation between theater and school? How should it be to better engage teenager?
I think it should be optional. You have to offer, you have to your subject in theater, and after you have something optional. For me, it's optional. It means, look, we have this project. Are you, for example, last year I had 11 students that they were willing to go, but it was optional. It should not be compulsory, because only the thing that is compulsory for teenagers is a negative reaction itself, not theater, everything. So it's better to say, look, we have this opportunity, and I would like that you come with me, and I would like that you share with me the experience. And from last year, I had, I think it was 28 students, and 11 were interested, which means something, no?
We feel like it is just the beginning of the research. While we have learned lots during the Teen Ambassador Across Europe process, more needs to be investigated. The new digital experiences, online festival, performance meetings that we are now living during 2020 and 2021 are providing interesting and important information on the behavior and attitudes of teachers and teenagers toward theaters. For example, we discovered that a lot of teachers don't go to the theater because they feel it is risky. They feel uncomfortable watching a show with their students that they haven't seen before, as they feel they should be the expert and don't want to feel that they are at the same level as the students are meant to be teaching. Teachers can prepare the topic, but not on the experience. We found that while many teachers know the topics of the performance, they are unaware of the way in which those will be explored on stage. Having the opportunity to watch shows before the shared theater experience makes teachers feel more prepared. We discovered, thanks to the digital shift of the project, that the access to online resources and the possibility of watching performances online in advance gives this option. Teachers, like many of us, and indeed teenagers, have very busy lives, and having the possibility of accessing theater performances at any time according to their personal schedule enables them to participate and be involved. Another unpredicted output is that during the digital time and space, the Teenage Action Group are more willing to meet each other. Indeed, they have become very good at organizing these meetings and teen kitchen table autonomously. They have even developed a new format entitled the Teenage Dialogue. This format involves a digital meeting in which teenagers from all over Europe or the world can talk to each other. The digital shift was the catalyst of the construction of a real dynamic European community open to a dialogue with the rest of the world. We are still learning much, and our new goal is to listen and widen the teen community across the world.